All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Jared, would you like to start us off?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Jared Schamberger. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am the Education Director at Young Playwrights Theater. Thank you all so much for joining us. I'll turn it over to you, Claudia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claudia Rosales Waters. I'm the program manager at Young Playwrights Theater. And thank you all for joining us today to talk a little bit about what it is to be a teaching artist with Young Playwrights Theater, what exciting events we have coming up and opportunities, and just how we want to grow and continue our arts education work in DC with our wonderful youth. Um, Jared?
We're live tonight because we want to talk about what we've been up to in our programs and some opportunities that we have for some DC area teaching artists who are interested in working with young people and how they can help us continue to bring our programs to Virginia. For those of you who are not familiar with Young Playwrights Theater, we are an arts education organization and producing theater that centers the work of young people by facilitating school programs for them in classrooms, as well as storytelling and creative writing programs, and then, of course, producing that student work, which amplifies their voices throughout the region.
Great. And we get to do this with students starting all the way from third grade and taking them into college. We're doing work with some with PGCC or Prince George Community College and getting to work with elementary, middle, high school, and into those college years, helping students tell the stories that we all innately have within us and find their voice to bring those to life on the page. There is over the years, we've formed several partnerships with schools and local community organizations who service our youth in DC and the DMV. And through all of those programs, we've gotten to work with students, just such a wonderful array of students throughout the area. Now, we're coming back in after the past 2 years of craziness, and we're really taking the opportunity to re-engage with our community and re-engage with our students and partners, which has opened up just new partnerships and ways of getting to partner with organizations. And that means more opportunities for all of our wonderful local teaching artists that we want to bring into the YPT family. So thinking about where we are right now and where we would like to go over the next few years, Jared, what are you seeing? What is your vision for our education programs or arts education programs?
Yeah, thanks, Claudia. As Claudia mentioned and you just mentioned, we've been doing a lot of in-person programming, which is fantastic. We are very excited to be back in schools, in classrooms, working with young people again after doing virtual teaching for a few years now. And we're looking to continue that, to expand that. So next year we have some really cool programs where we're going to continue working in classrooms with students. And I think that's where we're headed, where we're sort of rebuilding our in-classroom cachet, if you will. So yeah, as Claudia mentioned, we need some teaching artists to help us continue that amazing work that we're doing with young people. I think that's where we're continuing more in-classroom, in-person programming.
Yes, being back one-to-one with all of our students. So what that means, what does that mean? What does a day in the life of a YPT teaching artist look like? We have our we call it our standard program. Our YPT comes in and we partner with a classroom and we teach through 12 workshops. We lead students through the entire process of creating a play from idea to a completed, usually around like 5 or 6 scenes, short 10-minute piece is what a lot of the students end up writing. And that means, well, we have a set curriculum with objectives and our overall learning targets that we want our students to hit and understand so that they really grasp the elements of storytelling. We also love and trust our teaching artists. And because we know that you all know what you are doing, and I have gotten to be in classrooms with some amazing teaching artists here in DC, we love to say, hey, This is our overall goal, but it is your classroom. So our teaching artists know that they have, our goals that we need to reach, but that they get to go in and make the class their own. So it's really fun because it means that every classroom, every program is actually just a little bit different depending on who's teaching it. And of course, where it's at and what that classroom culture is that they get to cultivate with the students in the room. And that's like our standard. And then the other opportunities that we have is typically, or we're actually going to be doing our summer programming with DC public schools this summer, which is awesome. It is 5 weeks. We are working with students from Monday to Friday from 1:30 to 4:30. So we are with them with a big chunk of time. And because we have so much time with those students, that looks more like typically looking at devising a piece, generating an ensemble. It's a bit more on your feet for the students, and they actually get to perform their pieces at the end for the other classrooms. Is there anything you want to add to that, Jared?
Yeah, no, I think that's about it. These students are elementary school age, so these summer students are rising third through fifth graders. This is We've been working with DC Public Schools for summer programming for a number of years now, and this is the first year that it's a bit more sort of in depth, a much more sort of robust engagement that we're doing with them. In years past, it was maybe an hour a day for a couple of days a week. And now we're really spending, as Claudia mentioned, a significant amount of time with them for several weeks. So we're really excited about what kind of work the students will be able to generate, given that we're going to be spending that much time with them.
Yeah, it's a whole new ball game this summer, which is great. We love being able to meet with our partners and see what do they need and how might a program shift slightly, so that that we can meet the goals of the teachers and of our partners as well.
Mhm.
Um, that is right around the corner. So we would love if you are interested to please email your CV and your any letters of reference and a letter of interest um, to our jobs email, which I think we can actually put in the chat or in the comment. And I'll put that in there so that you all can see it.
Mhm.
Jared, are there any other opportunities that we want to announce out to all our wonderful people?
Sure, yes. Yeah, so we have our summer program, which is running from July 5th through August 5th this summer. As Claudia mentioned, that's a Monday through Friday programming, about 1:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon. And then we also have numerous in-school programs that will be happening in the fall, of course, and those will happen during the school day. Um, and then I'm very excited to announce that we are now looking for two new part-time folks to join our programming team, two resident teaching artists. And these are part-time positions, so it'll be 20 hours a week at $22 an hour. And these folks their job would be teaching. They would go into schools and teach programming. Yeah, they'd be a part of the team, which means that they would also have access to all of the benefits that all of the other YPT staff members have access to. Um, they would have, taxes withheld. They'd be on the payroll. All of those great, exciting things that come with working at YPT. So we're very excited about this. And if anyone's interested in those positions, also feel free to email us at jobs@yptdc.org. That's in the chat. And again, a CV, a cover letter, and maybe just put resident teaching artist in the subject line, just so we know that that's specifically the position that you are interested in. Yeah.
Awesome. And our wonderful communications manager, Deshawn, has put in the comments a link to the website, so to our website, so you can see specifically the opportunities that are open there. And the jobs email is written out there for you as well. So you can just check everything out using that link.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've talked a little bit. I'm curious if there are any questions that anyone may have. If not, we can sort of do some frequently asked questions, if that's helpful. But I want to open up the floor in case anyone wants to know something more about anything working for YPT. I know, as people are sort of maybe generating thoughts, a question that I know that comes up quite a bit is that people are teaching artists, but maybe aren't specifically playwrights, and they're
Mm-hmm.
curious if they need sort of a playwriting background to work at YPT. And while, of course, that is helpful and useful, it is not necessarily mandatory. We have a number of teaching artists that we've worked with over the years who did not come to us as playwriting teaching artists specifically, but because they're great teaching artists, they were able to sort of take the skills and knowledge that they already have and put it with our curriculum, which we do walk everyone through before they ever
Mm-hmm.
set foot into a classroom. So yeah, I don't think that that is a necessary skill up front, but of course it certainly is useful. But I would encourage people to apply even if they have never written a play before or taught playwriting before.
Yeah, definitely, especially because, as we mentioned earlier, we have a lot of opportunities where the programs are slightly different. So actually, currently, we have a really exciting program at Washington School for Girls called Story Art. And within that program, we have our storytelling teaching artist, and then we also have our visual arts teaching artist. And so they are teaching third grade through fifth grade, and then in a middle school as well. And they're working with these students to write short graphic stories. And so they're getting all of this knowledge on the elements of storytelling as well as the elements of visual storytelling, and getting to do deeper dives into elements of storytelling through their visual arts practices, with Katie Makishin and Cece Reed as the teaching artists there. So we also, you never know what adaptation of a program is going to happen where suddenly we're like, actually, we need somebody who specializes in clown, because that would be great.
That would be great.
Yes.
Any other questions you can think of, Claudia, that people normally typically ask when thinking about applying to YPT?
I think a lot right now is that question between remote and in person. As we were saying, we're really returning to in person. Obviously, that's what a lot of partners really want now, is to have the kids in the room and have the kids with the teachers and be face to face. We are flexible. If for any reason we should ever have to go remote, we do have things set up digitally so that we can do that. And of course, we always want to prioritize the safety and health of our teaching artists and our students. And so that is a possibility, like anything else is in this time. But for the most part right now, it looks like we're just going to be sticking with in-person programming.
Or at least that teaching artists are able to do in-person programming, which
Yeah.
for also means that for right now, we're asking that teaching artists are vaccinated and that they wear masks while in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any questions from the group?
Well, something else to think about is, if you by any chance are unavailable for anything right around the corner that we have, still please send in your information. That way we have it and we know. And oh, I just saw a question. Is there an application deadline for summer?
For summer, I would say certainly please apply by June 15th, just so we have time to interview anyone, and potentially start whatever sort of training curriculum work that we need to do before the program starts July 5th.
So that'd be great. Yes, June 15th. And then if you are not available for that, but you want to send in your materials, please do so, because we do always have programs coming around the corner. And so it's just great to know that we have a group, a pool of wonderful teaching artists who are available and interested and excited to teach with YPT, which makes me reminds me, you've mentioned it a few times, Jared. When we onboard a teaching artist, we do have a training with them. So we you will meet usually with me, and we'll go through the entire curriculum and do some teach backs and things like that, so that you feel comfortable with what those learning targets and objectives are. And then we also provide all the materials. So typically we have these little handy dandy black toolkit boxes.
Mhm.
And in there is a folder for every student. Any of the note catchers that we have generated, there are copies of every single one for all of the students as well. And pens, so that every student has a pen, because a lot of times pens go missing. So as long as we have them, we know there's pens. So apart from we do the training, we do the materials, and then there's of course we're building the our teaching artist community. So we're looking to do, as we grow with our teaching artists, some sort of meet and greets, some sort of trainings, maybe just some like, hey, let's do a game night and we all share teaching, drama games, just things like that so that we can stay connected and keep building our skills together.
Yeah, I see another question of what kind of support from YPT staff and from the school sites can someone expect to receive as a YPT teaching artist? Great question. So, of course, as Claudia mentioned, we provide training on our curriculum for anyone who goes into a school to teach a program for us. So you are certainly not going in empty-handed. There is a curriculum. There will be some training and some tools there. Of course, you'll also have access to us in case anything happens while on site. It is also part of our policy that there is someone from the school in the classroom with our teaching artists at all times,
Mm-hmm.
so that they don't have to handle, behavioral issues, or if something happens at the school, the teaching artist isn't sort of alone in a room with students, not sure what to do. There's always someone from the school also in the room with them. So they're never just sort of flying solo.
Yeah, anything else out there, friends?
Okay. Well, if there are no other questions, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We definitely appreciate you taking the time to sort of visit with us. And please spread the word for yourselves or for your friends, anyone that you may know who's a great teaching artist in the DC area that may be interested in working for YPT. Again, we have our summer programming that's happening. Please apply absolutely no later than June 15th. The earlier, the better. The sooner we can meet with you and talk with you and do all of that great stuff, the more secure your spot is, essentially, to be able to be a part of our great summer programming. And if you're interested in our sort of one of our part-time positions at YPT as a resident teaching artist, the deadline for that application is also June 15th. So please email us at jobs@yptdc.org with CV, cover letter, and maybe a list of references. And yeah, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Right. Lovely. All right. Thank you all. Hope to see a whole bunch of CVs coming our way.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
Bye.